we're back. Hey, everybody, this is Brandon. And before we get started with today's show and tell, I just want to remind everybody that we are accepting submissions to our Blue Island Radio podcast theme show contest. So we are looking for a new theme song. So if you're in a band or you're a musician and you want to come up with a song and submit it to our contest, please send it to blueislandradio@gmail.com. That's blueislandradio@gmail.com. So the song will be played at the start or either the beginning or the end or both of every episode from here on out once we select a winner. So hopefully we'll get at least about 10 submissions. Once we get about 10 submissions, we'll play the songs, all the theme songs, all the submissions on the show, and we'll pick a winner. And besides having your song played on the show, of course, we have also a $50 gift certificate for the Rock Island Public House, our sponsor, the Rock Island Public House, here in beautiful Blue Island, Illinois. $50. And I know some of you might be thinking, well, $50, that's not a lot of money, especially these days with these trying times and what have you. But hey, if you write a $10 song or even a $30 song, you may be making some money on this deal. That's $50 for the Rock Island Public House, where it's only weird if you make it weird.
This is Dave Brown, and I approve this message.
All right. So anyways, without further ado, let's get to today's guest, which is our former podcast guest, Mr. John Armentrout, photographer, fellow Blue Islander, and collector of things. So let's see what John has brought to show and tell.
But we have a nice little case. A lot of people haven't been by in a few years, so they haven't seen this collection yet. But what we have here, I'll grab this little thing, is a collection of, I don't know if you can see how much you can see. I don't remember what they all are. But I know like that's a monitor, that's a young coyote. I believe that one is a pheasant, that's a pigeon, some other odd skull stuff, the mandible of a deer. And then going down to the next level, which obviously we have two sets of jaws from two different types of sharks.
Okay.
And then these are actually human ribs. The lower two.
Lower them up. Raise them up a bit.
Like that?
Can you raise them up to the camera more?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So human.
There you go.
Okay, good.
So we got two of the lower human ribs that we have there. What else we got? This cleoche is a hair piece done in the 1800s. It's actually made of human hair. It's from a deceased person, and what they did is they took a section of hair and made like a flower out of it. This looks like it was a brunette. Yeah. And they would keep these things around in memory of the people that have passed.
Yeah, that
so
was like
one of those.
A whole art, I think. I have to look that up. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a lost arts of what people used to do with deceased people's hair in remembrance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're big, huge pieces. That's obviously a small piece, and there's some really, really ornate stuff out there in the world today. What else? On the very bottom here, we've got some, I don't know if you can see that, butterfly from Costa Rica. We picked that up when we were on our honeymoon, I believe. And some feathers, from some birds. This is a ribbon from an Odd Members from Texas. I got this as part of a group of bones that I bought, and I just decided to keep it. It's got the name of, what is it, Lincoln, Texas, chapter, all of that. And then this is when they would go to a deceased member's funeral. They would flip it around and wear it this way. So
you said Odd Members? What is that? Some sort of group of people who collect odd things?
It's Odd Fellows. So it's kind of like Skull and Bones that like all the presidents are members of and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like some secret society.
I see.
Kind of. So, and then, we're always constantly collecting more and more things. I'll show you the other cabinet in a minute.
And you said it's been getting odder this past year. Is it because of being cooped up for the past year or isolated?
I just think, with any kind of collection or, hobby, you start going, you stretch into boundaries more and more.
Yeah.
So I think I've really started stretching those boundaries.
That's what she said.
But this is pretty much our office view. That's Buffy's coworker, my wife. I don't know if you can see that.
Does he or she have a name?
No, I don't think she's named him yet, or her, whatever she wants to name it. It's just something that was given to us from all the schools closing in the area. Someone knew that I was into this, so it's not a real human skeleton yet. It will be one day. So, okay. but
that'll do for now.
So she doesn't have to worry about talking to herself. She can always say that she's talking. Yeah. I decided to put it together today. Thought it'd be a little bit better presentation for you.
It's nice.
So what we got is up at the top. I don't know if you can see this thing. It's a human tibula with a mounted patella from a retired I can't even talk, medical skeleton. This one's from the early 1900s, from what I was told. And then we just made a mount for it and stuck it up there. We have a not vermin, sorry. That's a wild boar pig skull. We picked him up. He's got the lower and upper mandible. Just actually received that. Had this goat skull for quite some time. Picked it up. You can see the difference of how they're prepared for taxidermy and preservation. Going down is that's a raccoon skull that I built a stand for. I believe that is a beaver skull. And then we have my closest thing that I have to a human skull at the moment, which is just a vermint monkey skull.
Vermint monkey?
Yeah, so a little guy. We were able to pick him up. I like it because of the big eye sockets, and it kind of reminds me of an alien.
Yeah.
All these things kind of remind me of how fragile life is, and I kind of always, am reminded of it.
And you make all the stands for them and everything?
I've made about half of them. Some of them are made by the people who I buy them from. And then some of them, people just take odd parts, like on this next shelf, this is a segmented human femur. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So what they did was they took a human femur, cut it, and they put it on this brass stand and just stuck it in the hole.
Yeah.
It works well. So we have, now this is where my collection gets weird. Is obviously I have a segmented human femur. I have a glass full of, this is all I can afford at the moment, but this is parts of a human skull that have been put together. Yeah. So that's it for right now. Then behind that, in this cleoche, is a upper human vertebrae. I don't know if you can see that with the cleoche on it. So it's the one that's closer to the spine. That is from a skeleton from the 1800s.
Okay.
And then we have a small broken human pelvis. So it's a segmented human pelvis. I don't know what the orange was on it, but that's just how I received it.
Disease.
Yeah, some weird disease. Obviously it was a small child, because that's not a very big human pelvis at all. So that would be a child. Then we have a human scapula that I purchased, and that one came on a stand. Obviously, again, from a child of some sort. And then one more vertebrae. somewhere in the lower part of the back. I made the stand for that.
Nice.
I just think it's kind of interesting. They kind of look like little sculptures.
Yeah.
And then I just recently picked up this, which is a vial of human teeth.
Nice.
No actual date given to me about where they came from or whose they are.
From different eras.
Yeah, some of them got really funky like cavities in them, and like partial fillings on them. Some of them look like they're probably from a dental practice.
Did you get them all at once, or did you collect them different places over time? Those teeth?
No, those I bought the whole vial, one big chunk. The guy who I sell or I buy from some of my oddities, he has just like an obscene amount of teeth that I don't know where he gets them from, but he breaks them up and puts them in these cool little vials.
Yeah, it'd be sad to find out one day he's got like a weird dungeon in his basement, and that's where his teeth are coming from.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's the guy who I get most of my stuff from. He was on a TV show a couple of years ago, or probably about 10 years ago now, called Obscura out of New York.
Mm-hmm.
He was Ryan Matthew Cohen, and now he is in charge, like the curator of Ripley's Believe It or Not in New York City, the House of Wax, and he has an auction every Saturday, and sells oddities like this, and then some really cool vintage stuff too, that I've also picked up some of it. So it's interesting. And then there's another gentleman I buy from New Jersey, who is an opera singer or is an actor on Broadway, and does this on the side right now, obviously for money.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
His side hustle, selling oddities.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they need to make money somehow in today's world. So,
and that's how he does it.
Yeah. Him and his wife, I think, go out, and I don't know how they go shopping. That just blows my mind, is that they're able to keep buying more stuff, but good for them. I'll stay home and buy it from them. And then the last odd part that I have that I've recently purchased, this is actually 2 human femurs that I've somewhat mounted together. You can see that all that well. That one day I would like to purchase a human skull. They're just so expensive, and actually have like their true skull and crossbone. And then this little demon looking thing here, that is a juvenile deer skull, from what I've been told. I decided it looked pretty cool.
I believe it.
Looked a little demonic, kind of fun to have. Fun little piece. And then this is just another, I believe this is a coyote skull of a different size than the one that was in the other room. This one's got a shiny patina on it. They obviously someone put like a polyurethane on top of it to help preserve it. But other than that, that's about my oddities collection.
Do you know if there's a difference between, you can tell difference between like if they got the soft tissue off of the skull using those beetles, or as opposed to just time? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some of it I've been informed of, like the pig skull here. This was what they'll call is naturally done, which is what you're saying is, beetles got in there, ate up all the meat tissue, muscle tissue, and that off of it. And someone found it in the forest, and then I was just dumb enough to buy it.
Hey, someone will buy this.
Still having fun.
Yeah.
This one, obviously, you can tell the difference. This was chemically done.
Yeah.
It's a bit more white.
Yeah.
Than that one. So you can tell by visually looking at them, the processes that were done.
Yeah.
To make them what they are. Most of the human stuff was done, 1900s for medical purposes. And now, since, we can make really good resin skeletons, they're not using these. So what they're doing is they're selling them off. I mean, they're retiring. That's a big term, is they're retiring these real human skeletons, and then people who collect them either break them down, if they're damaged enough, they only sell portions of them, So that's probably why I've got, two femurs, is because that skeleton was damaged somehow, and the people who were selling them are obviously trying to make money. It's it's a retail thing. So
yeah, so they're retiring the real ones and replacing them with plastic, I'm assuming.
Yeah, resin, plastic,
resin.
something that will last longer than damaging these things.
And what's more, I don't know, expensive or whatever? Is it like the hard bones and stuff cheaper than can you buy soft tissue like say a heart or an organ or whatever?
Oh yeah, you can.
Are those more expensive than bones or less expensive than bones?
Depends on what they do with it, because like sometimes just like a wet specimen in a jar, which I don't collect wet specimens, like that would be one price, but there's another way that they do it, and they can fill it with plastic. I think it's called plastices, and they color code it, and make it like look solid, like a real heart, like in your chest.
Yeah.
And those are definitely more expensive, because that's a lot more time oriented, and what people do with that. I mean, people do that now with lizards and stuff like that too. I'm not into.
You're gonna focus on the bones.
Yeah, I like the bones. We're both starting to get in a little bit of taxidermy now. Buffy, the wife, she just bought a taxidermy chicken. So we'll be home on top of this thing when we get them.
That'll be the next episode of Show and Tell with John and Buffy.
You're right, exactly. It'll be, what crazy taxidermy do we get into now? Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I've always been pushing for taxidermy, but she's got a thing with the dust and the hair and stuff. So bones are okay, but taxidermy, not so much. But
all right. Well, say hi to Buffy, and thank you for sharing your collection with us. And have a good night.
Yeah, thanks you. Be safe out there.
All right, you too. Bye, John.
All right, bye.
Thank you, John, for coming on and playing Show and Tell with us, showing us your collection of oddities. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody else, if you want to follow the podcast, you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook, so you'll know when all new episodes are coming up, or when they come out, I should say. And also, if you want to make a submission to our theme song contest, don't forget to send an MP3 file to blueislandradio@gmail.com and win yourself a $50 gift certificate to the Rock Island Public House. All right. Well, thank you for watching. This is Brandon signing off. Go in peace.